All right, today's video I'm answering two questions that were submitted by viewers. The first being, my wife wants a separation. Is this just her way of beginning a divorce proceeding? And the answer to that is no, or it depends. So a lot of men mistakenly believe that if a separation occurs that a divorce is almost guaranteed. That is not true. Okay. The reality is the statistics are skewed because there are municipalities, provinces up in Canada, and states that require separation before approving divorce. So you end up having these separations pre-divorce that are forced on them. What it means is your wife is done with version 1.0, has been unhappy for 1 to 2 years, if not longer, and has finally decided, I'm not doing this anymore. Does it mean your marriage is over? The dysfunctional version 1.0 that you're probably not happy in either? Yes. Does it guarantee you're going to divorce? No. In our Mentoring Men community, we have a number of men who have faced this, who have separated, and now have amazing, loving, deeply connected and intimate relationships with their partner. Some are in-house separations, some are out-of-house separations. If she truly doesn't want a divorce, but is no longer happy in the marriage and asks for space, separation, the number one thing that kills the marriage is often your lack of respecting her request, lack of respecting her boundaries, becoming a hummingbird, constantly, are we okay, wanting to talk about the relationship instead of allowing the pressure to release, to work on yourself for yourself and move forward. Okay? So, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. There are links below to the Mentoring Men community. We've even got courses. The Failing Marriage Recovery Plan will teach you what not to do. It isn't so much what to do a lot of times in the event of a potential divorce. It's what not to do. So keep that in mind. Now, the second question from a man was, when facing a divorce and the wife wants to not involve attorneys. That's actually a wonderful thing. It is one of the reasons when it comes to divorce, created the course. This course can save you tens of thousands of dollars, and that link is below. The issue is you still want to have a divorce attorney consult, okay? Because you want to know, what does things look like? How are they supposed to be divided? Let's say she has 3 times the retirement you have, but she just wants to divide up the equity of the house and separate. No, maybe there's no kids that are child support age, no alimony. Well, wait a minute. What if you're entitled to, in addition to half the equity of the house, $150,000 in retirement? You need to understand what you're actually legally entitled to, what your responsibilities are. So, I had a low legal expense, minimal lawyer involvement divorce, but I had an attorney. I understood where everything was. There were no children involved, made it a lot easier. And at the end, she got an attorney to review the agreement. And unfortunately, with some attorneys, they're a piece of crap looking to make money. Instead of saying that seems fair, which it was, the attorney wanted to involve retirements, which we were keeping separate. I had a bigger retirement, which I brought into the marriage larger. Fortunately, I also encouraged and created a Roth for her while we were married because she wasn't saving enough for retirement. And there were things not in the document the attorney didn't understand. There was premarital debt of hers that got taken care of. There was some other things that I was entitled to ownership of if I wanted. But it was her stuff, and I was kind of leaving it alone because it was the right thing to do. And this attorney mucked things up to the point where I finally sent an email basically going, no problem, we will do the retirement thing. I already knew the math. And because of that, I said, but I want my share of the ownership of this, including a very specific thing, and I wouldn't take cash in lieu of. It was Disney Vacation Club points. I wanted the ownership transferred into my name of my shares. And I said, we've got to also factor this. I already knew I was going to spend about $1,500 out of retirement or write a check for that and actually end up getting far more value, free lifetime vacation for 40 years, basically. 48 hours later, the divorce was signed. So there's a challenge when the wrong attorney gets involved, but we didn't need a lot of attorneys. I got almost half of my deposit, my retainer from the attorney back. I did a lot of the work myself. Filled out all the paperwork. And then there ended up being a mistake at some point where the cars, now this was a low conflict divorce, the cars were switched around. My car was shown as hers, her car was shown as mine, and she was like, we got to get this fixed. And I'm like, I'm not paying an attorney to fix that. I'm not spending $100. I said, do you want my car? Do you want my sexy 2013 Corolla? She said, no. And I said, I don't want your Jeep. I said, and they were individually titled. I said, don't worry about it. It's a legal document. We need to. I'm like, all right. So she paid her attorney to switch that. And then her attorney really screwed her over, cost her a bunch of money because her attorney wanted to make money off of her. She wasn't interested in finding out why anything was a certain way. So therein is the issue. Yes, you can do it with little to no attorney involvement, but you need to understand what your obligations are, what you're entitled to. It's the only time I use the word entitled to, and it's not a negative. Because if you're entitled to part of the retirement, part of the equity, all sorts of the house, don't give that up. You don't want to start a legal war, but you also don't want to give away 6 figures worth of what you're entitled to because she decided she wants a divorce. So if you're having these issues or you have questions, send them to me. My contact information is below. Links to join Mentoring Men, links to my course. This course can save you $10,000 plus in a divorce, which is priced to be less than an attorney consult. We'll let you know when to get an attorney, what behaviors will cause you to lose a ton of money. These are things you need to know. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.